Adventures in Colorectal Cancer, 2026, July 23rd. Bit of a rant. Some of this material I've already gone through. So, autistic, meaning that I do not do well with surprises. If I'm expecting to be surprised or not, have low expectations, that's okay. Like when I travel in places like Nepal. Otherwise, no, I want to know everything. As an engineer, as a high-end, world-class mechanical, optomechanical design engineer, a lot of my job was risk mitigation, because you don't want to be on the critical path. That's a pretty bad place to be. From my work designing the cancer camera, I know that cancer is extremely soft-pedaled in BC, which I consider unfair. So by the numbers, 90% of people who have a FIT test are negative. No, not me. 95% of people who have a clearly not negative FIT test don't have cancer. Not me. Not on the good side of this. Colorectal cancer has a little bit less than a 50% morbidity rate over 5 years. That's a 50-50 shot of not making it past 5 years, regardless of what was done. Do have no surgery, have radiation, whatever. Now, that clock doesn't start when the cancer is discovered. It started at some time before that. So what I'm looking at is probably, at this point, probably 3.5 years to go to my 5-year point. Now, a lot of my friends think this is a really bad way to think, and I appreciate that. They want me to always be, glass half full, look positive. I'm not being negative. I'm managing my expectations. I had a friend with rectal cancer, and she went through 3 surgeries in 2 years before she passed away. 3 times they did the same surgery to her, going, we've got it this time, we've got it this time, we've got it this time. I appreciate physicians need to try and save people, but at some point, you really have to say, is it worth, am I really going to save this person, or is their time better spent with their 2 daughters, young daughters that they left behind? Now, that was 20 years ago. And where I am sitting right now, a lot still hasn't changed. My case and treatment plans hinge on the fact that they smeared the margin when they removed the polyp. So they don't know if it penetrated the rectal wall. And because there's no real way to tell that, although all the tests that come back, the CT, the ultrasound, the MRI, the doing a new biopsy on the area, they still don't know if it penetrated the wall. Now, part of that is I don't know if there is a procedure that is not on the approved procedures list that they aren't trying or haven't suggested that will prove or disprove this. But it's whatever they do is going to be invasive. Now, knowing I'm an engineer, but I have a Bachelor of Science. I also spent, since age of 14, have always had some sort of industrial first aid certificate. And so like removing your rectum just rings all sorts of warning bells. So fortunately, talking to a friend of a friend who has had exactly this, cancerous tumor in the rectum, decided to have the rectum removed. and and she tuned me into everything that went on. Now, they were really sure they got the colon, anal joint well sealed, so she didn't have to have a colostomy bag. So, so here's a CR surgeon soft pedaling this, right? Well, when you're going to remove your rectum and you will have loose bowels, which require you to go to the bathroom with urgency 5 to 10 times a day. Okay, so let's put that into people talk. I'm going to have diarrhea that it is going to be urgent. I'm going to have 30 seconds to get to a bathroom. Every 2 to 5 hours. Think about that. With the knock-on effect. So let's do the engineering thing and mitigate the risk. What does that mean? Now, like this friend said, I said, well, she said, stay healthy. I said, well, I'm exercising a lot. Every day I live up on a hill. I walk down the 2 miles to Starbucks and have coffee. And then I walk home. And she laughed and said, well, you will be able to walk down to have coffee, but you're not going to be able to walk back without shitting yourself because coffee is a laxative. Well, think about that. That means I have now. Okay, so let's back up just a hair. This can be how much I poop every day can be managed by what and how much I eat when. So, 2 hours. Let's take the long 5 hours. Well, that's halfway through a sleep period, right? So I have to be enough body aware that sometime during the night, if I have to wake up and get to the bathroom in 30 seconds, or I'm going to shit in my bed, or on the way to the toilet across the floor. Oh, well, can't have carpets. Make sure that whatever floors, so I rent, so whatever floors I have in whatever new apartment I have can be easily cleaned and not stained. Now, true, this can be managed by how much I eat, of what, when. But if you want to be really sure, think about this. Going to the grocery store. So not only do I have to be sure when I'm at the grocery store, if I have to take a shit, that the bathroom is open. I have to know where the key is. Is the key available? Do I have the code? And can I get from wherever I am in the grocery store to the bathroom? Is the bathroom going to be open in 30 seconds, or I'll shit myself? There is no rectum. There is no holding bag. The colon is just going to push it out. Too bad. I like to go down to Buenos Aires and dance tango. Okay, so let's talk about flying. Because once I start getting in the cab to go to the airport, to take the flight to get to Buenos Aires, to take the cab to get to the Airbnb, I can't guarantee that in 30 seconds I can have access to a bathroom. So that means fasting, starving myself for 2 days before I get on the airplane, eat nothing when I'm on the airplane, eat nothing until I get to the Airbnb. Okay, so I'm in Buenos Aires. What am I going to do? I have to plan what I eat when around anything that I want to do and make sure that I have access to a bathroom. Now, this is a different city. This isn't North America where there's gas stations that are open and Home Depot and Canadian Tire, which all have public bathrooms that have lots of stalls that I can get to. They don't work like that. So, am I going to be able to do that? How do I manage that? Going to the dentist. Okay, you're locked into a chair with a dentist hovering over your mouth, giving you a cleaning or a filling, and all of a sudden you got to go. Well, you've got to get out of that chair and to the bathroom in 30 seconds, hoping that the bathroom's open and not someone else in there. And in 30 seconds, you're going to shit yourself in the dentist office. How do you manage that? Well, the easiest way is to starve yourself for 2 days before you go to the dentist. Now, apparently, I'm going to explain this. The rectum really controls a lot of the regulation of the digestive system. So when the rectum is gone, that sort of signaling system is gone. So sometimes when the digestive system sort of settles into the new normal, sometimes you just never stop shitting every 2 hours. And if, there's people who, when they go back to work, have to move their office closer to the bathroom because they have to be able to get there in 30 seconds. And there's some people, like this friend of a friend, whose colon just goes, oh, to do so I'm going to do nothing. And now she has to take a laxative every night to make sure that she regularly poops, or she just is constipated. She can't go to the bathroom. How do you plan for that? For the rest of your life. This isn't just like, oh, it'll be okay in 6 months. This is the rest of your life. Like, recovering from the surgery, it will suck, but the knock-on effects are just, holy Christ. And it's soft-pedaled. It's couched in this, you'll have loose bowels that require you to go to the bathroom with urgency 5 to 10 times a day. And then that's it. It's no... So I feel really sorry for the people who don't have my background and don't have my knowledge and don't have my curiosity, that wake up in a hospital and go like, what do you mean I have to starve myself for 2 days before I go to the dentist? What do you mean I have to starve myself for 2 days to go see my kids graduate because I'm in a crowd and I can't guarantee that I can get out of the crowded auditorium to the bathroom in 30 seconds or I'm going to shit myself in public? It's just like, it is so dishonest. And dishonesty by omission is still fucking dishonesty. It's just crazy. And this assumes that the colon heals to the anus and doesn't leak. Because if it leaks, it's a colostomy bag for the rest of your life. And all of the complications to your life that brings. And, the CR surgeon sloughed that off. People swim with colostomy bag and get pregnant with colostomy bag. Well, great for them. But they had to change their lifestyle anyway. And there's knock-on effects to that again, you're just glossing over. And this. I mean, these guys aren't working in a vacuum. They know these things. And it would be, I understand that if they told people this, I'm a bit rough as guts when I talk about this stuff. You can take me out of the bush, but you can't take the bush out of me. But they need to be more honest about this. Okay, you're going to have this surgery. I need you to go talk to this person or that person. I need you to go talk to the oncology social worker so that you can prepare yourself for what comes after this. Because you are going to have changes to your lifestyle and you need to prepare for them. No, I'm just going to gloss up, not even mention it. Man, oh man. Just sucks, man. Just truly fucking sucks. And still, regardless of what they do, you still only have a 50% chance of living past 5 years. Yeah. And I guess this is why when I start talking to, um, getting back into the surgeons and people talking about this, why I just get so anxiety ridden, and feel the cold hand of fear squeezing my heart, because I just don't know how to approach this or how to get honest answers from these assholes. That's a good one, right? Because that's all they're being, is just jackasses. The colorectal surgeon's my age, and he knows better. Anyway, making appropriate life decisions. Don't make any money, but you get good stories.